Now, one of the things that has been making NIO maybe to not do that well in Europe, it's of course the tariffs that we have been seeing coming from Europe. I mean, NIO last year in October got an additional 20.9% of tariffs, which came on top of the 10% tariffs that they were getting in Europe. In total, this simply means that NIO has got over 30% of tariffs that they need to pay, of course, in Europe for them to sell their cars, which is why they've been struggling to get some pretty good, decent sale. It's one of the things that has been hindering NIO to do very well in Europe. It is for that reason that even during the Shanghai Auto Show, which many of you already know that it took place a couple of weeks ago, when the NIO CEO was in talk with, of course, the ex-CEO of Volkswagen, Herbert, or Mr. Herbert, he highlighted something very important, and that is tariff. It's one thing that is hindering NIO to take even more of their models into Europe, because you will remember that time, I think during that interview, there was a point in time where Mr. Herbert said the ET9 should definitely go to Europe. NIO should reconsider and think about taking the ET9 onto Europe. And what the response of the NIO CEO was like, he said they can't because of tariffs. Tariffs are a problem, tariffs are an issue, and the reason why I'm giving you that intro is that I see on the screen, apparently China and EU are just entered the final stage of price commitment talks. This is as per the Chinese Commerce Ministry. I mean, a couple of weeks you will know that we read the news of saying that China and Europe or EU Commission, they are in talks wanting to find a solution or a solid ground for the base price of all the exported vehicles coming from China into Europe as a whole. This is going to be a good thing that could open so many doors to even the models like the ET9, because if there is a base price that obviously the two parties agree upon, the only cars that maybe might face some serious hit or that might face some serious challenge are the cars like the BYD Seagull. I mean, the BYD Seagull in Europe starts around $22,500, which simply means that these are the kind of cars that maybe might face some heat, because if the starting price, let's say, is $30,000, it means that everything, including the Seagull, would have to start at $30,000. I mean, our very own cheapest brand or model under NIO, which is Firefly, what we know is that in no way were the tariffs that I spoke to you about are not applicable. Besides, I think the 10%, the starting price of the Firefly is expected to be around $26,000. So already there you can see that in no way, probably the price that we see of the Seagull, which, like I said, it will be hit if, let's say, maybe the base is $30,000. These might also affect the starting price of obviously the Firefly sub brand. If it's $30,000, it means that everywhere where NIO will be selling their cars except Norway in Europe, they will have to be selling Firefly with a starting price of $30,000, which it simply means that for them to really do well or to sell well, they will need to obviously get the assistance of battery swapping stations, because with that, we all know that it brings the prices of that model down by plus minus 5 to 10,000, which will be so great. We still don't know the base price of Firefly even in China, so that's why I'm estimating somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000, because the battery Firefly is small, so it might not be $10,000 of savings like what we see on NIO and Onvo, but it might be around $5,000 because the battery is small. It might be anything from $5,000 going to probably $8,000. This is something that is obviously is to be taken cognizant of, and I think the fact that the two parties are in the final stages, we can expect probably a broad or a good solution that will help EV makers like NIO to be able to do well in Europe. Hopefully it gets to be so good, man. I mean, the base price, or something very good about the base price, is that if the base price, like for all the exports coming into Europe, are $30,000, this simply means that for NIO, we can expect NIO sales to improve, because already NIO cars, the cheapest model in China starts around $42,000, and in Europe, I think starting price of the cheapest model, which is the 85 Touring 85 mid sedan, starts around $65,000. In Norway, I think it's $50,000, but average you're looking at $65,000-$70,000 of the 85 Touring, which this base obviously now it's going to make, of course, the adjustments to come in or to kick in, because the reason why these models are expensive in Europe, it's because of the tariffs that are currently being imposed right there onto NIO, which, like I said, is the 10% plus the 20.8% tariffs that we saw last year coming and playing and kicking in October, not only to NIO but to all the vehicles that are exported from China into Europe, which is something that the users, which we, as investors, we need to take cognizance of that. So yeah, man, I am very happy, I'm excited, and I thought I'd come and give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. I think this is going to be good news to all the NIO investors once we finally get to see an agreement between the two parties, because it has been going on for quite some time. Many of you know that this issue has been there for like almost a year right now, and because these talks started, I think, mid somewhere last year, and knowing that it's now mid 2025, it's been almost a year, and it will be good that, of course, these solutions, or there are solutions that get to be reached, and we get to see the two parties, of course, going home with something that will benefit both parties. So I am happy, I'm excited. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Thought I'd give you this quick update. It takes me some time to make these videos, and all I ask from you is to give it a thumbs up, so that at least you get to be spread out, and people, the new investors, gets to see what is happening around the NIO news. These news are not specifically talking about NIO, but rather they are talking about what we can expect from new energy vehicle car makers like NIO that are selling into Europe. So I am happy, I'm excited. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the headwinds, the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. That's all from me, and God bless you all.